In the last session, we have observed why we need to learn C# and some brief history of C# language and the types of applications that can be developed using C# language. And also we have observed a simple welcome program using C# console application. In today's session, let us understand how to declare variables in C#, and also we shall understand some of the terminology that we will be using while developing our C# applications. So let us start with defining the variables. So what are variables means? These are the placeholders which are used to maintain the value based on the data type used for defining the variable. And in order to define the variable, the syntax will be data type variable name equal to value, where the assigning the value is optional. So what is a data type means? It is used to specify the type of value that can be stored within the variable, and we need to remember one important point, that is C# supports two types of data type. One is value type data types and the other one is reference type data types. Now let us understand the difference between the value type data types and the reference type data types. Whenever a data type is defined based on a structure, then it is said to be value type data type. And whenever a data type is defined based on a class definition, then it is said to be a reference type data type. The variable information and the value will be maintained at the stack memory. And for the reference type, the variable information will be maintained at the stack memory and the value will be maintained at the heap memory. For example, let us say int number equal to 10, where int is a value type data type. Now, whenever we define the variable, then within the stack memory, the variable number will be defined and also the value 10 will be maintained within the stack memory. Whereas, let us say we are defining a reference type member. For example, string s equal to C#.net, where string is a reference type data type. So whenever the reference type data type member is defined, then the value will be maintained within some memory block allocated at the heap memory. And the variable information will be maintained at the memory block allocated at the stack memory, where the variable stores the address of the value stored at the heap memory. Inheritance is not supported by the value type members, whereas inheritance is supported by the reference type members. Default values will be assigned for the members. For example, int is equal to 0, boolean equal to false, etc. Whereas the default value for any reference type member will be null. Now let us understand some of the value type data types and the reference type data types. So value type data types are uint, int, byte, sbyte, long, double, decimal, float, char, datetime, enum, boolean and struct. Whereas reference type data types are string, object, delegate, interface and class, etc. Now let us understand some of the terminology that is used while developing C# applications. Boxing. Whenever the value type member is assigned to the reference type member, then it is said to be boxing. One important point we need to remember here is that boxing happens implicitly, means we don't require any additional step or syntax to achieve boxing. Next, let us understand unboxing. Whenever the reference type member is assigned to the value type member, then it is said to be unboxing. And we need to remember that unboxing needs to be performed explicitly. And in order to perform unboxing, the syntax will be value type member equal to value type data type of reference type member. Many people with a background of C language gets confused with the above syntax and they consider unboxing as casting. But remember that casting is different and unboxing is different. Now, let us understand boxing and unboxing with a demo. To do that, let me add a new class and let me provide the name for the program as boxing and unboxing demo. Now, let me remove the boilerplate code. Now, let me write a comment demo on boxing and unboxing. Let us import the namespace system. So, let me type in using system. Now, let us add our namespace. So, let me type in namespace CS intro and let me define the class. So, let me type in class boxing and unboxing demo and now let us add an entry point. Now, let us define the value type member. So, let me type in int I equal to 10. Since int is a value type data type, the member will become a value type member. Now, let me define a reference type member. So, let me type in object O. Since object is a reference type data type, this variable will become a reference type member. Now, let us assign the variable I to O. So, let me type in O equal to I. Now, if you observe, we have assigned a value type member to the reference type member. So, within our code, if there is a statement exists like this, then it is said to be boxing. Now, let me define one more value type member. So, let me type in int j value type member. Now, if I assign j equal to O, then we can observe an error because now we are trying to assign a reference type member O to the value type member, which will not be allowed implicitly, and hence we need to perform unboxing. So to do that, we can type in j equal to braces of int O, and this statement is considered as unboxing. Now let me define one more value type member. So let me type in int k. Now let me assign the value of j to k. Then this statement is not either considered as a boxing or unboxing. Simply it is called as assignment because in both sides we have same type of members. Now let us try to display the values on the console. So let me type in console.writeLine. But prior to that, let us understand how to display these values properly. Now let us assume that we are using C language and we need to display the values of 4 integers. Then we will be using printf statement and we will be defining the 4 variables. For example, a, b, c and d. Since I said all the 4 variables are integers, we need to use %d, %d, %d and %d. Now say for example, if the value for b is a float and the value for c is a char, then instead of writing %d, we need to write as %f for the b and %c for the c. And in case if the value of b is a string, then we need to use %s. Now, what for this percentage and the format specifier means? It is to inform that the variable is of specific data type and the value has to be displayed at this position. Now, we know that in C#, in order to display the value on the console, we need to use either console.write or console.writeLine method. And let us say that I would like to display the values of 4 variables, for example a, b, c and d. And instead of providing the format specifiers in C#, we need to use placeholders, for example within braces 0, 1, 2 and 3. Now what will happen is the value of a will be displayed at the placeholder 0, the value of b will be displayed at the placeholder 1, the value c will be displayed at placeholder 2 and the value of d will be at 3. We need to remember that irrespective of the data types, the placeholders will substitute the values at the relevant positions. We can place the placeholders in any order. But one important point we need to remember is that the index of the placeholders should not exceed the number of values to be displayed. Now let us complete our code. So let me type in 0, 1, 2, 3 and let us display the values of I, O, J and K. Now let us execute the code. So let me set the startup object as the name of our class. We can observe the same value 10 has been displayed for all the variables because we have assigned that value only, right? But I hope you have understood the terminology of boxing and unboxing. Then, hi friends, hope you are enjoying my videos. If you like my video, please subscribe my channel and click on the bell icon to get the notifications of all my latest videos. Friends, many students are asking me where can we find your courses and how to get my courses for the best price. Friends, if you are already a Pluralsight subscriber and wanted to upgrade your skills towards Java stacks such as JDBC, Servlets, JSP and Spring MVC with Hibernate through my courses, please check out the links present at the description on this video. Many students are requesting me to provide trainings on various technologies, which I couldn't able to fulfill all these days. Now, here is the good news. You can learn from me at the most affordable price, $5 to $10 for each course, which means now you can upgrade your skills to the latest technologies at the price lesser than watching a movie. You can find my courses at Udemy and also in our website technoacademy.net. The best price of my course at Udemy you can find using the link provided at the description of this video. And also you can find the price I'm offering at my website technoacademy.net. Wherever the price you feel lesser, subscribe my course from that website. Happy programming, yours Shaker. Next term we need to understand is the term parsing. So what is parsing? It is used to convert a string value to any specific data type value. And the syntax for this is variable equal to data type dot parse of string value. We need to remember one important point, that is through parsing we can convert only a string value to any specific data type value. Now let us understand this concept with a simple demo. So let me first add a new class. So let me click on the project menu and add class. Let me provide the name for the class as Parsing Demo. As usual, let me remove the boilerplate code and now let me write the comment demo on parsing. Then let me first import the system namespace. So let me type in using system and then let me type in our namespace CS intro and then let me add the class Parsing Demo. And also let us define an entry point. Now let me define some variables. For example, let me type in int employee number, string ename, decimal salary, and finally date time hire date. Now my requirement is to accept the values for these 4 variables from the console and display that values on the console. If you remember yesterday's session, then we know that there are some methods which are used to accept the input from the console, such as read to accept a character and return an integer, readLine to accept a string, and read key to accept a character. So for our requirement, we need to use console.readLine method. Remember that we don't have methods like readInt, readFloat, readDouble, etc. So let me prompt the user for the input. So let me type in console.writeOf, enter employee number. Employee number equal to, since employee number is an integer, we need to parse the value to integer. So we need to type in int.parse of console.readLine. Next, I would like to read the value of employee name. So let me type in console.writeOf, enter employee name. Ename equal to, since ename is of type string, we don't need to parse the value. So we can type in console.readLine. Next, we need to accept the salary. So let me type in console.write of enter salary, and then to collect the value salary equal to, we know that salary is of type decimal. So we need to type in decimal.parse of console.readline. And for the hire date, I would like to assign the current system date and time. So we need to type in hire date equal to date time dot now. Let me add the comment assigns the current system date and time. We have completed our first task, that is to accept the input from the user. Now the next requirement is to display those values to the console. So let me first clear the screen. To do that, we need to type in console.clear. This statement is to clear the screen, and it is same as CLR SCR in C language. Now let us display the values. So let me type in console.writeLine of employee number, placeholder of 1/n. Remember that since C# language is from the C++ family, /n/t etc. can also be used in C# language. So when I type in /n, it means that move to the next line, right? Next, let me type in employee name colon placeholder of 1/n, salary colon placeholder of 2/n, and finally hire date colon placeholder of 3:d, which stands for long date. Now let us set this class as the startup object, and let me execute the code. And let me provide the values for employee number as 101. For employee name, let me type in Shaker. And for the salary, let me type in the value as 1000. Now we can observe the details. What we have provided has been displayed successfully. Once we have understood the terms boxing, unboxing, parsing, finally we need to understand one more term, that is casting. So let us understand what is casting means. Casting. It is used to cast a lower range value to a higher range value, and vice versa is also applicable. One important point we need to remember is that casting will be performed on the same family type. So the syntax will be value type member equal to value type data type, value type expressions, or reference type member equal to reference type data type, reference type expression, or object. Remember that in both sides of the expressions, data type should be of same family, either value types or either reference type. Now let us understand casting with a demo. So let me add a new class file. Let me provide the name of the class as casting demo. And let me remove the boilerplate code, and let us add the comment, for example, demo on casting. And let me quickly type in the boilerplate code, that is using system. Namespace yes intro, and then the class casting demo, and also let me define the entry point. Now let me define some variables of type integers. So let me type in int number1, number2, comma result1. Similarly, let me define some float variables also. So let me type in float f result1, comma f result2. Now let us try to accept two integer values as an input. So let me type in console.writeLine of enter two numbers. Now let us try to accept the inputs. So let me type in number1 equal to int.parse of console.readline, and similarly number2 equal to int.parse of console.readline. Now let me divide the values of number1 and number2 and assign to the other variables. So let me type in I result1 equal to number1 divided by number2, f result1 equal to number1 divided by number2, f result2 equal to within braces float number1 divided by number2. In this statement, we are trying to cast the values of integers to floats, and this statement is said to be casting. Now let us display the results. So let me type in console.writeLine of I result1 colon placeholder of 0, comma placeholder of 1 equal to placeholder of 2. Now let us pass the values number1 comma number2 comma I result1. Now let me copy the above line and paste the code, and let me replace I result1 to F result1. And once again let me copy this line and paste, and once again let me update the F result1 to F result2. Oh, some spelling mistakes, let me update them, and let me update the F result2 variable also. Now let us execute the code. So let me set this class as the startup object, and then let us execute the code. Now let me provide the values as 10 and 3. Now if you observe the result, I result1 is 10 by 3 equal to 3, and for F result1 equal to 10 by 3 equal to 3, and for the F result2 where we have casted the result, we can observe 10 by 3 equal to 3.333 etc. I hope you have got a fair idea on how to declare the variables in C#, and also the terminology that is used most frequently in C# language, such as boxing, unboxing, parsing and casting. In the next session, we shall understand what is a class and the members of the class. See you in the next session.